my true understanding is, all right, you got one life. And that one life, the goal for us is to live it to the best of our ability from the beginning to what's said the end. In the middle, in the beginning, middle, you're going to do things, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fuck up. You're supposed to learn and then move forward with the understanding of what not to do. And when you move forward, life may get better, it may not, but somewhere along the lines it's going to click. And everything that I went through back here was supposed to happen so that now that I'm here, I'm able to go ahead with such a high level of knowledge, and I can make other people better. I can make myself better. I can do more for my family. Something happens.
I failed, I go back to scratch. I use some positive motivation. I have like one day where I'm like fucking defeated. But I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say that shit. I'm just not good enough, and then we try something else. I'm gonna fucking make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I'm gonna make myself good enough. And so I'm misunderstood a lot, but that's all it came down to. I made myself good enough. And the days I couldn't run that far, the next week, I would do 2-a-days. So like on the running, if I ran a quarter of a mile, I wait a fucking couple hours, it'd haunt me, bother me. I try to run a half mile the next time, same day. You can do more than this. If I had to walk, I had to walk. It just became just a process of grinding and grinding, and grinding is not even a good word for it. It's not even a good word for it. And just going further and further. And then when I got through running, I go to the bike, I go to the pool. If I got tired somewhere, my legs were tired, I go to the gym.
People feel, well, if you come into life and everything is great, then that's the way you live life. But no, it doesn't matter. If you come in great, if you come in poorly, it does not matter. You have to do life. And if you're smart, you do life on your terms and you don't let life make you do it on its terms.
What story would it be if my fucking fat, dumb, lying to be friends with people, insecure ass can overcome this shit? And that what if mentality, like that dreamer mentality just would always fuel me. It would just fuel me, man, what if I can be a SEAL, man?
You're already in pain. Get a reward for it. Like you're already in pain. So at the end of the day, everything is already messed up. So why would you go through all that pain and not get something for it? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to put all those hours in. Okay, yeah, it was football, but it doesn't make sense to put all those hours in and not transfer those hours to something else. It doesn't make sense not to recycle the pain and get wealth or a successful life, a successful spouse, like whatever, have kids, whatever it is. And so for me, just going through my go-through, I was like, it can't end here. Like, bro, it can't end here. I've worked too hard. I've read the books. I've gone to the conferences. I went to the classes. I got the degrees. Like, it can't end with just life is gonna deal me this hand.
Became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. And I was basically, I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment, be called nigger, be called whatever the fuck in the world, and be able to stand in the fucking room and say, go fuck yourself. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. I built it through downright fucking just crushing myself. If it was raining outside at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, if it was snowing, the first instinct is don't go out there and do shit. My instinct was, we gotta fucking go out there. Anything that was fucking horrible in my life that I would normally say no, that was inhumane to most people, I had to go do it. And I started callousing my mind at this point in my life. And I lost the weight. And I went back to recruiter. I got into that class, and I went through 3 Navy SEAL Hell Weeks in 1 year. Only guy to ever be in 3 Hell Weeks in 1 year, to my knowledge. The first one I didn't make it through. The next 2 I did. And I didn't stop anymore from there. And I started realizing through this process that the fucking mind is what you created. And I started opening different doors that I didn't think were even there, that I didn't think even existed. And the more doors I opened up, the more I started realizing that my potential is damn near endless. And it changed my whole mindset. So I went from David Goggins and I created Goggins. And that journey is a priceless journey that is hard for me to even explain to people because it sounds so quick and easy. Like I lost this weight and I went through 3 hell weeks. I went to Ranger School, went to Delta Force Selection, whatever it is. It was brutal. It's a brutal journey every fucking day.
Time is so valuable.
And I don't think people understand how valuable they can be if they use their time correctly.
Yes.
I'm a positive
always
fucking guy, man.
But always?
Always.
Really?
I find a light in every dark tunnel. I will find a goddamn light, man. I hear it all. Listen, when I tell you the weight on my back is so heavy of all the stuff that I deal with, and I'm fine. The reason why I'm fine is because I'm genuinely happy. So everything else from the outside that comes in, you're throwing shit at a bubble that can't be popped.
Tomorrow rest, and Monday we're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You wanna become best. You wanna become champion. And now you wanna say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody care about you. Even you, if you're gonna watch fight, you just watch fight. They walk out inside the cage, they fight, and they leave. You don't know what happened behind the scenes. This is not your business. Nobody care about this. He was tired, he have personal problem, family. Nobody cares.
When I was a kid, I come home every day and I watched this fucking show, Rocky. And I would fast forward with the little VHS tapes to round 14. Round 14 fucked me up like nobody's business. Why? The song came on, right? So when I bought the pull-up record, I listened to the song for 17 hours. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And I'm able to visualize and dream like nobody's business. And I know that I can create a vision that many people can't. And I work for it. So the vision I had was when Apollo Creed beat the fucking shit out of Rocky, beat the shit out of him, he kept fighting. He was a dumb fighter, couldn't read, couldn't fuck, that was me. Couldn't read, couldn't write, just punchy, everything about him. And Rocky beat the or Apollo beat the shit out of him. He was in that corner and everybody was saying, stay the fuck down. And him getting up, Apollo Creed raised his arms up in the fucking air, turned around, thought he won the fight. He turns around and sees this guy getting up, and it was the face of Apollo Creed that changed my life. The face of Apollo Creed. It was like, just by that motherfucker getting up, not winning, just by him getting the fuck up, Apollo Creed he was champ, he's the best. Rocky had taken his soul, had literally taken his soul. His head goes down, he looks at him like, what the fuck are you? I wanted to be that, not Rocky. I wanted to be the guy that people looked at. I don't care if you liked me or didn't like, I don't care. But said, this motherfucker is gonna keep coming after whatever the fuck is in front of him.
There's another human being, a species which I happen to belong to. Kick a ball. Lift himself. The rest of us sat as human beings up to a better place to be, if only for a minute. Let me tell you, kid, it was pretty goddamn glorious. It ain't the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
Don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. Now, as an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done. But if you are going to rest, that is one thing that you should procrastinate on. That's the one thing I want you to put off until tomorrow. And if when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need to rest or you need to take a break, then okay. Take it. But the chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path and you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path.
Why try to learn this much? Why try to do it all? Why try to see it all? Why try to have it all? Why do it? Why learn it? Why study? Why put yourself out? Why try to take on this much responsibility? Why develop yourself to the full? Why try to become all that you can possibly become? Why try to earn as much as you can earn, share as much as you can share, develop every skill you possibly can, see every human you possibly can, go to every class you possibly can, touch everybody you possibly can? Why do that much? Why go that far? And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys. Here's what I want you to do when you go home after you've left this extravaganza. Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. In leadership training, here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
Am I happy? I don't know. Never really thought about it. Don't really care about it. Because all I really cared about was when I looked in that fucking mirror, I saw a piece of shit. Happiness wasn't on the mirror at 16 or when I was 300 pounds. It wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for happiness. No, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and say, all right, motherfucker, you did it again today. You a bad boy, because that shit sucks. I have about a couple minutes of that when I got the carrot. The second I lay down and go to bed, the carrot's gone because I'm waking up all through the night to check the work I did that day. And when I was younger, I had this image in my mind of what does a man look like to me? And I got all these people who were badasses, characters. And in my mind, I became that. And that's what kept me going a lot, was I had this pipe dream of becoming a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Because when you have no parents raising you and you have no role models growing up, it's not daydreaming. You start to create a reality like, maybe I can be that. And after becoming this guy, that is the biggest thing I can ever do in my life, is I became that guy. That I once looked at all these guys, now I look at myself like, God, who the fuck can do that? I can. But what it takes is a discipline that no one can ever even, they don't understand it. They don't understand, but everybody has the ability to do it, but they just don't want to. They want to keep asking questions and keep going to seminars. And the greatness is right in you. And that's why, once again, I'll say this a million times here, I do not feel sorry for you. I will not sugarcoat what I'm going to say to you, because all of you know what I'm saying is the truth. Everybody knows it's the truth. This is what it looks like, and you know it too. You know it too. This is what, if you ain't got nothing, I hate to tell you, what it looks like is ugly. It's not a documentary. It's not an HBO special. You ain't gonna watch it, but hey, man, you guys gotta watch this. No, it's like, oh God, this looks like a train wreck. It's like a nightmare. This looks like this guy got, no. That's what it looks like. Hard work looks horrible. It's not motivating. It's not motivating at all. It ain't like Rocky round 14, he gets knocked down and goes like this to Apollo Creed. It looks like a man being stuck in a fucking dungeon and there's no fucking way out. But you have the fucking key.
Don't let neglect destroy your days, destroy your life, and destroy your future. Go back and do what you can. And if you'll do what you can, then life will give you some extraordinary things to do. We all pity the man, right? Wants to stride out of his house, go straighten out the corporation, has not yet straightened out his garage. You got to take care of the small disciplines before life will give you a chance to handle the more complicated disciplines. How do you think Mark Hughes got here? Scattered now throughout 14, 15 countries, another 14, 15 coming up. I mean, how do you do this? You start first with the smallest of disciplines, and do not neglect them and do not disregard them as being trifling. Everything matters. Everything's important. Good phrase to take home. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, here's a good philosophical phrase. If you hadn't thought of it before, here it is. Everything affects everything else. It's so easy to be casual and say, well, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. Of course, some things matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Then here's the positive side. Every new discipline affects all your other disciplines. If you'll get some new things going, make some calls you've never made before, step up your activity level, step up your labor level.
Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, he said.
Yeah.
If you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fine. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fine. I thought, this is good philosophy.
Imagine who you could be and then aim single-mindedly at that. That's one. And then the course, or what would you call a complementary chapter, is work as hard as you possibly can on one thing and see what happens. And that's also predicated on this idea that discipline is a precondition to freedom. So you were fortunate, like you had this goal, right? So that meant you had a goal, which is a really big deal because you could learn about goals. You had a sense of a higher mode of moral being, that I would rather be a good SEAL than the person I am now. Well, it's a code of behavior and a way of perceiving. So there's an ethic in that. And then you said as well, you know, your conception of what good SEAL meant changed as you matured. But that's also fine. It wouldn't have changed unless you would have pursued that initial only partially accurate goal. And so that's also a really good thing for people to understand, is like, if you don't know what you're doing, aim at something. Is it the right thing? No, but it's better than just shooting randomly. So you aim at something, and then as you aim and you move towards it, you're going to find out why you're wrong. And then you might recalibrate your aim. And that's going to happen over and over, because as you move towards a goal, it recedes or it broadens, or it recedes and broadens, and otherwise you'd run out of things to do. Back together. Stand up forthrightly. That's rule one. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. There's a vulnerable position, right? Because you're open. But it's a powerful position because it means that you're brave enough to take what's coming. And it isn't like what's coming isn't dangerous. It's dangerous. So, but your best bet is to be dancing on your feet and ready for it. Pay attention and be awake. And to treat yourself properly. That's rule two, is figure out how to treat yourself as if you're someone worth coming to the aid of. To detach yourself in a bit and say, okay, I'm going to set up my life so that it's good for me.
I think this notion, and one of the things that you said that I think really resonates, is that there's not a voice out there that is advocating for responsibility, and that is talking about how important this is. And I think this is an inherent principle that most people are kind of aware of, and it feels good to them to hear. Like, it resonates. You feel it. You when you're saying this, clean your room. You know, put your house in order. People are like, yeah. How come I'm not hearing this?
Right.
How come I'm not hearing this?
Well, it's so funny because one of the things psychologists have done for the last 20 years, especially the social psychologists, is push this idea of self-esteem. You should feel good about yourself. And I think, why would you tell someone 20 that? It's like, you should feel good about who you are. It's like, no, you shouldn't. Why should you feel good about who you are? It's like, you should feel good about who you could be. That's way better, because it's saying that people shouldn't have confidence. But like often you take young people, say they're 16 to 22, and they're not really feeling that good about who they are.
Right.
Because their life is chaotic and in disorder, and they don't know where they're going, and they don't know which way is up.
Also, there could be bad parenting,
Oh, God, yes, yeah.
bullying.
Oh, yes.
There could be a lot of abuse going on. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why that resonates with people, this idea of be happy about who you are.
Right.
Feel good about who you are.
Right. But the thing is, it has to be stated with precision. It's like
Yes.
It's like
With
you
a
should
caveat.
treat yourself as if you're valuable, especially in
Yes.
potential. But you should concentrate on who you should become, especially if you're young. And so let's say you're miserable and nihilistic and chaotic and depressed and all of that now, and you have your reasons, terrible parenting, abuse, all of those things. It's like, well, you should feel good about yourself. It's like, no, it's not the right message. Is that it's more like you should understand how much potential there is within you to set that straight. And then you should do everything you can to manifest that in the world, and it will set it straight. And that's better than self-esteem. It's like you're in a crooked, horrible position. Okay, fine. There's a lot of suffering and pain associated with that. Yeah, you can't just feel good about that because it's not good. But you can do something about it. You can genuinely do something about it. And I think all the evidence suggests that that's the case.
Something happening. I just keep doing it. I'm one of those weird grinders.
It's not weird.
But
That's a way for you to go.
But I trust the process, but I don't ever look at it like there's a destination, like a success moment, like a big thing hits. I just keep doing it, and those things sort of find their own way through management and agents, and I've put very little thinking into that. I put almost all my thinking into just doing the thing the best way that I can do it. And I think that's where I got this from podcasting and even from stand-up. It's just the grind.
The process.
Comes from martial arts. The grind is like, you got to be there every day. If you're there 3 days a week, it's not as good as 5. You got to be there 5 days a week. And 5 might be better than 7, because sometimes 7 you burn out. You want to keep enthusiasm, because that's a fuel. Enthusiasm, there's something about enthusiasm that, like, you got to balance discipline and enthusiasm. Discipline's critical. You have to be able to show up, but you also have to enjoy the shit out of it. And so enjoying the shit out of it with discipline is the key.
A career, and you're like, I fucking hate my job. What I feel is like, even if you hate your job, you're supposed to be using that job for something to get to something, right? And if you're not, then that should be the thing that you're figuring out. Like, I don't like being here, but now that I'm here, I'm going to do all that I can to get said thing so that I can then be comfortable enough to move here.
Yeah.
If you just go into those things with hate, because you were talking about enthusiasm, this made me think about it. If you just got hate and you're just angry about what you're doing every day, then you're not even allowing yourself to figure out the plan of how to escape the thing that you hate to get to the thing that you love.
Yeah, I think it's important to have those jobs that suck, man. They like cement your foundation.
Lifeguard.
Because you don't want to go back to those fucking places. You don't want to go back to those terrible jobs where you got to get up and be uninspired all day long. But if you can get through that, like that's this rigid structure of discipline that allows you to apply that discipline to things you love. If you can apply discipline and learn how to apply it to something that sucks, and get free, have a game plan and get free. Once you get free, you have that ability to get up and do things that suck. Guess what? You're gonna get up and do things you love easier.
Even more.
And you're gonna remember construction sites and delivering newspapers and all the stupid jobs that I worked. I think about those fucking things when I get up in the morning. And they when I'm brushing my teeth, I think about them.
That's the fucking game, though.
Yes.
That's the game. Like,
that's why you got to get through it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like that. I say this, man, and it's like that. It's the story. You're just putting that story together, and I don't think, without the stories, what do you talk about? What do you talk about?
Right.
What is the interesting side of conversation about your growth or your journey? If it's just the easiest, I just took the highway and got off at the exit, and right there at the exit, I found the gold. Everybody else did. It's no
right.
What
or
is
my
that?
dad was rich, and I have a trust fund, and I never have to work ever.
What is the interesting side to that? Like, there is no bonus in that. Like, I just fucking broke my goddamn back, right? The dopest thing for me about doing that was not being able to walk, but then being told that if I'm patient, I can recover fully. I can get back to myself, and me instantly thinking in my head, I can actually be better than what I was. If he's telling me I can get back to 100%, I'm gonna be better. So the game instantly clicked on. All right, tomorrow we start, we play. New level. I can't fucking walk. God damn, here we go. Can't wipe my ass. I'm not fucking getting it. They say I can't get in the gym. PT is some weird shit. I'm just taking 2 steps on a fucking booster ball. And I'm, all right, this is a little discouraging. But I know they said I'm supposed to do it 3 days. I'm gonna listen to them. But on those other 4 days, is there anything else that I can do to be working on? Kevin, you can strengthen your lungs up, working on your breathing. Here's a breathing machine. Okay. What about my hands? Is there any way my senses, tennis ball, can I be squeezing? Should I be doing anything? No, we don't have anything like that. We don't recommend it. So if I found something and I research, if it's just motor skills and working on, is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. But you know, it's okay if that's what you want to do. Okay. I saw that, yeah, I'm not getting the same. The doctors are just telling me the stuff that I need to know. Stay within those lines, but I'm gonna find other things that I can do because I'm playing the game now. I'm never gonna overexert myself, but the game is to be better. How do I be better than what I was? Because if I do that, ooh, fuck. For me, I just beat me.
Yeah.
This ain't about nobody else. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. I just beat me. If I can keep beating myself, pause. If I can keep doing that, then that means that I'm in a battle with the only person that fucking makes sense. I'm in a battle with the only person that I really want to fucking beat, and that's me.
Somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.